Want to know the quickest way to get that movie star smile? To get ahead at the office? To light up your social life? Did you know that modern technology can make a trip to the dentist virtually pain-free? That high-tech dentistry can make ugly black fillings disappear and bring yellow or stained teeth back to white in a matter of minutes? If you've ever wanted a smile that shows the world the real you, your time has come. We're about to show you how easy it can be, right now, on Winning Smiles.
Hi, I'm Nina Van Dyke. Welcome to Winning Smiles. We all want to look and feel younger, to be more confident, and to give the very best impression that we can. The more competitive our world becomes, the more important our first impression becomes. From job interviews to sales calls, business meetings to parties, speaking engagements to dates. Looks may not be the only thing that matters, but they certainly open doors. And when it comes to improving your image in the workplace or giving a boost to your social or romantic life, a bright, healthy smile can be a visible key to personal success. Did you know that several health and beauty magazines have published findings from behavioral psychologists that report that the majority of Americans will notice your smile first before your eyes, your hair, or even your body? That's why we're fortunate to have with us today on Winning Smiles a special guest expert from right here in San Francisco to tell us how we can all improve our smiles with minimal, if any, discomfort and in less time than you might think possible. Dr. George Carslant, welcome. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Now, you've been practicing dentistry for about 25 years now. Tell us a little bit about your background, about your education.
Well, I was born and raised in San Francisco. I attended the University of California at Berkeley, and I went to the University of Pacific School of Dentistry. And I graduated in 1977, and took over my father's practice, and I've been practicing in San Francisco ever since.
Now, you graduated dental school in 1977, but your education did not stop there.
No, I've been taking continuing education throughout those 25 years.
Describe that education to us. Is it sitting in a lecture hall, taking notes somewhere, or is it hands-on training?
Well, it's both. It's both, and it's really enjoyable. The fun part is how dentistry's changed over the years. It's just amazing.
Now, tell us about those changes. Let's talk about the last 5 years. What changes have you seen in dentistry?
Well, I think the biggest change that has come about is people can change their smiles. They can change the way their teeth look, they can bleach them, they can change their appearance, and it's dramatic.
Tell us about some of the new techniques that you're using today that you didn't 5 years ago.
Well, I think some of the best techniques are the ability to bond porcelain to people's teeth, and you can change their color, the shape, the arrangement of their smile.
So you have a very natural looking
look,
smile.
Very aesthetic.
Now, there are tons of other things that are available, wireless braces. I mean, there's just been so many changes. Tell us about some other things that you do.
Well, some of the amazing things that are happening now are that we can actually visualize with the patient their own mouth. So they get to be, with an intraoral camera, they can actually visualize what's inside their mouth. It's easier than using a little mirror that you used to use in the years past. So now on the TV screen, they can really get a close look of what their teeth really look like.
Tell us why you think that's important, both to you and to your patient.
Well, it's a learning experience. It's educational. They can take a really close look at what's going on. And a picture's worth 1,000 words. They can really see what's going on very close.
It sounds like there's more interaction between the patient and the doctor. And so the patient isn't just there in the chair, with a big mystery going on. It's interactive.
Right. Relationships are really important.
Now, what other things have you seen? What other changes have happened in the industry?
Well, we don't really need to use or have to use metal fillings anymore. And so that's one of the amazing things. You can get rid of the dark fillings and replace them with tooth-colored natural fillings.
When I was a kid, metal fillings were state of the art. They were standard. Why is this new material better?
Well, if you catch decay when it's very small, you can use these materials to actually strengthen the tooth and bring them back to their natural appearance.
So it's a stronger material, and you look like it's a completely natural smile. It's just our little secret that I ever had a cavity.
Exactly. What's really amazing now is you can do it with a laser. You can remove the decay with a laser. There's no shots and there's no drill.
No drill at a dentist.
No drill.
So I thought those two words were synonymous, dentist and drill.
Not at all.
Doctor, in today's society, in today's modern society, how important do you think it is for people to have a natural-looking, bright white smile?
Well, we are in a competitive society, and so it's important for people to look their best.
Have you had any of your patients say, wow, I got my smile done and it's changed my romantic life, or it's given me a competitive edge in business? Have you heard any stories like that?
Well, yes. There's been some people have come in, and it's been a slow, gradual change over the years. And a woman came in and she said she doesn't see her teeth anymore when she smiles in photographs. That's what made her realize that something has happened. And so we went through, we picked out the proper teeth, the smile that she wanted, and we did the porcelain veneers on her anterior teeth, and she loved them. And it was wonderful, because the reason that really made her do it was her daughter's wedding was coming up, and that's what she really wanted. She wanted a pretty smile for the photos.
People do wait for important events, and then they're like, oh gosh, I've got to make this decision. And then they're so happy, and they can't believe they waited so long to actually do it.
It's just true. That's exactly what happens.
Well, doctor, let's take a moment and take a look at some of the latest whitening techniques.
I felt like my teeth weren't looking as bright and as shiny and as white as they could.
Teeth whitening, also called bleaching, is an easy and effective way to light up a smile. Two of the most popular and successful methods are home bleaching with the aid of a tray and a painless in-office procedure that uses a special whitening light. The tray method has been around the longest and starts by having the dentist create an exact mold or impression of a patient's teeth. From this mold, a clear, custom-fitting tray is made, which fits directly over the teeth. A small amount of carbamide peroxide gel is placed in the tray, which is worn on the teeth for specified periods of time, each day or night, or even while sleeping. In as little as 3 to 14 days, patients notice a visibly whiter, brighter smile.
Every night before I went to bed, I just put it in my mouth and slept overnight, and then it was fine. And now I just do takes like 30 minutes or an hour, and I do that like every couple months or something.
A second effective method of whitening is called laser bleaching. This easy and painless procedure performed in a dentist's office shows amazing results in only 1 hour. This method also uses a carbamide peroxide gel that is activated by a special light. When the light hits the gel, the carbamide peroxide breaks down, and years of stain is bubbled out from the clean, porous surface of the teeth.
You know, the whiteness that was there all of a sudden isn't there anymore, you know, between coffee and tea and red wine and all that. So about once every 6 months, I'll pop a tray in 1 or 2 nights, and I get that great look back.
I would never hesitate to make my appearance better if I felt it really was going to make a difference, and it does.
It was an easy procedure, and just gave me a much better smile that I'm happier with.
Doctor, tell me the difference between the whitening procedures that you do in your office versus something that someone can purchase over the counter or by mail order.
Well, it's important for the patient to be monitored, and it's important to have trays that fit. If we're going to do the take-home procedure, then it's important that the trays fit properly. The over-the-counter products, generally the trays don't fit very well, and if they don't fit well, then the bleaching solution can irritate the gum tissue or cause sensitive teeth.
So in this case, the old adage is true, sometimes you get what you pay for.
Very.
Okay. Well, if you think dark mercury fillings are ugly or black lines around old caps don't look very nice, well, there's good news ahead, because you don't have to live with them anymore. Stick around. We'll be telling you about some simple procedures to get your very own perfect smile coming up on Winning Smiles.
For advanced cosmetic and high-tech dentistry, call Dr. George Carsant and discover the possibilities of a beautiful smile. Call 415-333-6000.
Hi, welcome back to Winning Smiles. I'm Nina Van Dyke, and this is our special guest, Dr. George Carsant. Doctor, it's amazing what you're able to do for the outside of a person's smile, how you're able to whiten and brighten it. But I've seen some pretty scary things going on the inside of someone's mouth. What can we do for that?
Well, in those situations, most of those dark fillings are silver mercury fillings. And in that material, half of the silver filling is made up of mercury. And so it's not the healthiest thing to have in your mouth. And so those can be replaced and removed and restored. Teeth can be restored with white, natural-looking materials.
And you use no mercury in your office.
We use no mercury in our office. And one of the reasons is, or the major reason is that when we have to store mercury or store the silver filling, it's under very controlled situations. And when we dispose of it, the regulations involved with disposing of the mercury filling is dramatic. So if you can't dump it easily, why do we want it in our mouths?
Why do we want it in our bodies when we can have a natural-looking smile?
Great, that's true.
Doctor, I have seen people with a dark line right along the gum on their front teeth. What causes that?
Well, that's the edge of the porcelain crown showing through. The older technology used porcelain fused to metal, and that little metal band is visible. And they usually tuck it up underneath the gum tissue, but when the gum recedes or any kind of trauma to the tissue or inflammation, the gum will recede and the dark line shows through.
It starts showing. If someone watching at home is like, oh, that's me, what can be done for that person?
Well, we can replace the crown with an all porcelain crown. And light shines through it perfectly, it looks natural, and that dark line will disappear.
So you don't have one really, really bright tooth.
Exactly. We try to, it will blend in beautifully.
Now tell us about the procedure. Do I need to schedule vacation time to have this done?
No, it can be done in about an hour in the office. The first appointment is to remove the old crown and start making the new one. And about 2 weeks later, the new restoration's placed and bonded into position, and it's very simple.
So really I can do this over my lunch hour if I want to.
You could. You could.
That's perfect. Well, here, let's find out more about how modern dentistry can give you the smile you've been looking for.
I cracked a tooth, actually. So I had to have caps put on.
Several of them have been replaced, actually, the silver fillings with the clear ones, and especially along the front where it would have shown through.
The dark line is actually visible metal, which was initially hidden below the gum line. Discoloration forms when the metal cap blocks light from penetrating the tooth, which is necessary for natural beauty.
With the new technology, you don't have to see the metal. They can just put the clear white coat over it.
I was really apprehensive because I didn't want my mouth to look like 4 squares, these, false teeth. I wanted them to look natural.
With today's new natural-looking porcelains and space-age adhesives, there is usually no need for any metal in the mouth, allowing light to pass through our teeth. The result is a glowing and lifelike smile that lasts for decades.
Everybody made comments for about 6 months afterwards about how good I looked or how well I looked or my smile. And I didn't tell anybody because I just wanted to see how they reacted.
Doctor, it's pretty amazing what can be done out there, but I have to admit, I think I am like most people watching out there. I am a big chicken when it comes to going to the dentist. I think I'm a very confident person, but when I walk in that dental office, my body stiffens up and I start to sweat and I have childhood flashbacks. What do you do for people like me?
Well, the biggest thing is to build rapport with the patient. Once the patient is comfortable in the environment and gets to know our staff, that really takes the edge off.
Do you hold their hand?
We hold their hand.
And tell them I have no drill. I'm not going to use a drill today. I mean, I think those are 2 big battles right there that you can win.
The biggest thing, right.
Tell us ways that you help patients relax when they come into your office.
Well, they can listen to music, any kind of music they want. They can watch TV while they're being worked on. And they can have nitrous oxide if they prefer.
To be really comfortable.
To be really comfortable.
Doctor, in the olden days, it seemed like doctors just kept patients out of the loop. And you mentioned rapport and communication as being a priority in your office. Tell us how you do that. Tell us how you communicate with your patient.
Well, once we do the exam process and I gather all the diagnostic information that we need, I usually generate a report and then I sit down with our patients and actually go step by step through the process of what our findings were. And then they actually get a hard copy of that to take home with them because they usually don't come with their spouse or their significant other. And they can take it home.
They're scared.
And they're scared and they don't listen to half the things that's going on.
They're overwhelmed.
And so it's wonderful they can take something home and actually read through something that has all of the findings in it.
So you give them the status of where they are and the options of what can be done, and then they can go home and review it.
Right.
That's perfect.
Right.